can lean into your own personal discomfort, say what needs to be said in a non-offensive way, the more you make the world a better place.
All right, everyone on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I felt inspired to do an impromptu video based on some activity today. Activity that was brought to my attention. Just as a day goes with what we do at Jumpstart, there are a number of people that will bring things into our space for our thoughts or opinions on something. And it could be anything from, the latest innovation on some kind of restraint equipment, which is, more emphasis on downstream, as well as, let's say, methods of human learning that are all downstream from what we're trying to do in the thought leadership space on how we support people and are more effective in crisis negotiations. So I witnessed a number of clips today regarding interactions between people with enforcement responsibility and members of the public who are engaged in activity, and during the course of their activity, they come into contact with people with enforcement responsibility, and there's aversive interaction. And in the public safety space, and please remember that that's a space that I was and remain deeply involved in today as an elected official. But I spent an extraordinary amount of time around very aversive interactions and violence, like a lot. And thank goodness, at least for me, I was able to gain some understanding through very generous mentors and teachers of principles, and then immerse myself in the principles to understand them, understand the data that underpins them, and be able to share something with others that's more than just my opinion. So I want to talk a little bit about something I understand. I understand why it happens, and I want to share with you some information so you can consider it and potentially revise the practice if you do it. I'm going to mimic it, and I'm going to use some inflection that I refer to as upspeak, and I'm going to give a number of examples of questions that we can sometimes hear people engaged in during a highly aversive conflict. Do you want to go to jail? Do you want to get arrested for obstructing? Do you want to lose that security level? Do you want to lose all of these things? Do you really think you should be talking like that? That approach to interpersonal interaction messages very loud, I am losing composure because I have no control over the situation, and I need to confirm that you're aware of what you're doing. I'd like to suggest an alternative to this. There is a much different affect that someone experiences when they revise their use of questions in crisis to descriptions of outcomes that are going to happen. There's a difference between someone experiencing clarity and someone experiencing a probing question from someone. During crisis, when there's high emotional arousal, high limbic system activity, diversity of thought and expression is offline. People's ability to answer questions is constricted by virtue of the fact that their risk circuitry is now active. They're only interested in the things that the human nervous system are interested in when it's in that state. Reaching a goal, getting to an objective, and unidimensionally pursuing it. And we need to jumpstart, for lack of a better word, wider diversity of thought. Instead of asking questions which communicates a loss of control, and it doesn't feel good to have to do that when you're in that role. Look, dude, do you really want to have 10 of us come in here and restrain you? Is that what you're looking for? Like, those kinds of things are less effective in the social interaction data than some tips I'd like to give you. We call it the negative prompt followed by positive prompt. If this continues, you're going to get arrested. If you step back 10 feet, you'll maintain your freedom. And then go do the thing you need to do. Whatever that is. Look, if you continue to use racial slurs here, the likelihood is you're going to get escorted against your will. If you use safe, non-offensive language, you can stay. Period. And then if you have to enforce the thing because they continue to do the violation, enforce it. That's the whole point. The limit has to be real, and it has to be something that you're going to do the minute after they hear this thing from you. And if you allow ongoing violation of the rule when it's really close in contact with either safety or interference with your duty, then you have to do the thing. So, I need you to statements that only fuels the interpersonal you versus me lens through which someone sees the situation. Instead of you need to, the recommendation would be, if you continue to do this, here's the undesirable outcome that's going to befall you. If you do this, here's how you can maintain something that you have. That simple. We observed in extraordinary amounts of research, this is not just my opinion, people render more influence when they do things that way. The upspeak thing, the thing that shows curiosity, the curiosity during high limbic system activity is off-putting because someone's capacity to conceptualize a better way to get their needs met is already anatomically offline. You can't do your best math when you're pissed off. You can't cook your best lasagna. You can't play your best major scale or minor scale on your instrument. Why? Your diversity of thought and expression is diminished. Why? We're wired that way. So let's say you're in an enforcement responsibility. I have a duty to enforce these rules, and someone is bumping up against them. And I want to render influence. And very well-meaning people who have been trained in a lot of other areas, use of force, firearms, the application of mechanical restraint, escort positions, whatever the case might be. If we devoted as much time to more effective ways to think and speak than we did those other things, I'm telling you, we'd wipe half of the crisis that we see on social media right off the map. The argument could be made that there are forces that don't want that, but that's the truth of it. Questions during crisis are not constructive. They're not constructive because the person who's animating themselves and bumping up against the rule is not thinking as widely in terms of their neocortex as you would think. They're more than likely animating themselves from their limbic system. And when that's the case, we set the discourse. So that's why this piece is entitled, Stop Asking Questions, Start Setting the Discourse. Do you want something bad to happen to you? Are you aware of what you're doing here? Throw that all out the window when someone is animating themselves and they're aroused. It doesn't work. That's why you see so much of it. If you don't see what does work because it's not attractive on a video. I mean, that's probably another truth. So here's the recommendation. When you have to enforce your thing, and someone's coming around and bumping up against that, and it necessitates a message from you, describe the undesirable outcome. If you continue to do this, this undesirable outcome is unequivocally going to happen. If you do this other thing, the likelihood is that you'll be able to maintain your freedom, your dignity. You can film us all you want. You just can do it from right over there. That's a lot different and a lot more effective in the data, not my opinion, than the other things we naturally do. We're surprised. We're taken back. We're curious, and we're asking someone questions during their emotional arousal and animation in the hope that they can answer my question and consequently discontinue the thing they're doing because I've shown them some dignity of my insight that they don't have yet. That's what that is. Instead, say the thing. If you continue to threaten your neighbor, you're going to get the following things happen to you. If you engage in safe, non-threatening language, you'll be able to stay. And when you do that from a regulated affect, someone who is tilting toward discontrol, generally speaking, is influenced very constructively by that. People who present discontrol and dysregulation are desperately seeking some kind of stability. Now, they're pursuing that from the outside world. But the fact is, when you're in a de-escalation responsibility, you're not here to fix the external problem in the world. You're here to help them with their regulation problem. And when they see you engaging that capacity yourself, it influences them in a much more constructive way. So I hope this was helpful. It's been very sad witnessing all of this, especially today. Just a lot of opportunities for improvement we have in how we talk to one another. Stop asking questions, set the discourse. Consider the negative prompt followed by positive prompt. You'll get a lot more traction. Take care.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
More that you can lean into your own personal discomfort, say what needs to be said in a non-offensive way, the more you make the world a better place.